Hey everybody, welcome back to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 621, being recorded on March 24, 2021. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm going to be Brett Vanspenberg again tonight.
You can subscribe to find out when we go live for events like our podcast recording sessions, usually on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, by going to pcper.com/subscribe. We only use that list for good. We don't use it for evil. Well, not yet,
Unless
anyway.
you consider the things that get written in there to be evil.
I mean, I glance over them. Brett has fun with these.
No, it's fine. Yes.
You can help support the site and our podcast by going to patreon.com/PCPer. Become a PCPer patron, please. More importantly, we've been podcasting now for at least 2 minutes, and we still haven't gone to Laramie, Wyoming, where Josh is going to set down his drinking glass and guide us through Burger of the Week.
What day is it, Josh? What day is it, Josh?
I've got to say something here. I just been eating, some junk lately, and wasn't feeling great today, and so I had a salad today.
But there was last week was a 2-burger week. You cheated on us, Josh.
Yeah, but you did last Friday's, which is FryDay.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I can talk
so
about that.
Okay, let's talk about fries of the week. All right,
This is Friday. Now, right around the corner.
This is
from
also
Born
a salad,
Farm,
I think.
pretty much. If you like,
It's a different
starchy
kind of
salads.
Yeah,
we all do.
Yeah. So around the corner from Born in a Barn, on the same block is a place called the Crowbar, and it's a interesting little gastropub. And they have a fry special, and typically, they have like pad thai fries, which is really good. You'd probably their most famous, one. The one I often get is the bulgogi fries, which again fantastic. But I did something a little different. I can't remember the name of this fry, but it's kind of Lebanese in ways. It's a wonderful basket of fries that are nicely cooked, crispy on the outside, tender on the inside. They are sprinkled with za'atar spices, I believe. And then on top of that is a lemon zest yogurt, which don't knock it until you try it. That then is covered with fresh basil, sliced tomatoes, and finally topped with lamb meat. So it's a very Lebanese Mediterranean type blend, and they went down very smoothly. They were fantastic fries, and I will be amazed if I make it to 50.
I don't know. It's a salad. Definitely a Lebanese take on a salad.
It's fantastic. Can't go wrong there. Either the pad thai fries, the bulgogi, or these ones are great as well. So they have another one that I think I've covered in the past that has a balsamic glaze on them, and I can't remember all the different parts, but really, really, really inspired fries there. And who would have thought that Laramie had such good food? 26,000 people. Yeah.
Last week we talked about the Radeon 6700 XT, and we're going to talk about it again briefly. There were 3 reviews. I didn't get all 3 up on day 1. I had to kind of, finish testing and making charts for review number 3, which was from XFX. It's their Speedster MERC319. Now, if you think XFX Speedster MERC319 AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT Black Gaming is a long product name.
Wow, you didn't even breathe.
There is a longer version of it is the actual description, which you'll find on any online listing for this, is XFX Speedster MERC319 AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT Black Gaming Graphics Card with 12 GB GDDR6 HDMI 2.13 XDP AMD RDNA 2. I just butchered that, but that is the short version of the full product description. So it's a big card.
That's what its mother calls it when it's in trouble.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's a big card with a very long name. It is a big card. Yeah, and you know what? Josh knows all about it because you've got
It's the same cooler as my 6800 XT that I have yet. I mean, I'm halfway written. I've told you that before. I mean, I'll send you proof that it's half written. But hang on, let me grab it.
They're going to compare sizes, aren't they? Audio listeners, you are blessed right now.
Now I do notice one difference.
Okay.
You have one centered large fan,
yes,
and then two smaller ones, and I've got two large outer fans and one smaller center.
Fascinating.
So it's not identical, is it?
Yep, Josh is bigger.
Let's see. Josh, camera 2. Show up that cooler. Okay, small, middle. And it says Radeon
a bit more girth because he paid more.
And then this one, has the big fan in the middle, two smaller fans on the outside.
But how do you like the what did you think of the LED branding?
I love it, and I forgot to include my picture of it. I mean, it was
so... I've got a picture of it I can send in.
It's the most tastefully handled side card lighting I've seen, other than like a GeForce like Founders Edition card. But it's even more subtle than that because those glow pretty bright green. It's just enough light.
This is it looks fantastic, and the reds are very red and the white is white, and it all comes together kind of like the Canadian flag, except not polite.
The Merc has a lot of attitude. Merc is a beastly card, as you can see. It's got that, the modern trend is to have the big pass-through design. I love how it says Merc across the back here. It's a thick card. And 2 8-pins. 2 8-pins for a 6700 XT.
I'll take it. And you've got the BIOS switch too, right?
Yes, you do. 2-position. There's that pass-through area. So it should be a pretty cool running card, you'd think. I'll just briefly touch on performance here because, it's a 6700 XT. It runs about a frame per second faster. It's kind of the same thing we saw with the Sapphire last week, although it did better in Division 2. It seemed to do better overall, especially, what was the test? Was it Metro? Shadow of the Tomb Raider? One of them. Anyway, it's like 1 to 2 frames per second faster, sometimes more. It depends on the game. And as far as power draw, that 2 8-pin is drawing, let's see, total system draw was 366 watts versus 335 for reference. So it's like 30 watts more. But you'd expect that from a card that has a non-reference design and 2 8-pins. And then temps were great, of course, because of the huge cooler. And if you're watching the video, it's yellow and orange are the reference card, yellow being the reference GPU temp, which was something like 78 degrees C under load, and the hotspot was about 94. And then this card, it's the green and blue, so you have the GPU temp just under 60 under load, and then the hotspot was only mid to high 70s, so very, very good.
79 max.
Yeah.
XFX RX has done kind of a fantastic job in redefining themselves, because if you look at the last generation stuff, it wasn't all that interesting, not all that exciting. Their cards were, okay. They cooled okay. They didn't have a whole lot of flair. I mean, their 5700 XT was, interesting, but again, it wasn't anything outside of the ordinary.
Josh,
but this year,
they brought the 590 Fat Boy to the table, though. Remember that?
Boy, they did.
They used to be fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, though, when they were an NVIDIA only group, Pine Technologies, XFX,
Oh yeah.
they had interesting things. I think I've showed you in the past.
What, do you want to be on the show too?
Yeah, what were they? Oh, the kitty. Sorry. They had what one was it? Gosh dang it, my mind is breaking. 68. It was the 7800 series, I think. Anyway, but regardless, they had interesting designs back then, and they came back. These Mercs are huge pieces. I mean, they're heavy, and they run cool. And if you take the time to actually tweak them, you can get a lot better performance out of them. I mean, you can really. I mean, it's 30 watts that it's pulling at the wall more than a standard. And if you get away from a lot of the automatic tuning and start doing it yourself and really, hammering on it, you can get the clocks up there. And can we talk about the regular 6700 XT clocks as it is? What was the highest that you saw this board go?
Under 2600. I don't remember exactly. I have to pull up the chart, but
yeah. Now that for the 6800 XT with this cooler and the power delivery, it jumped up there significantly over what would be a standard. And so, yeah, you need to be patient, and you need to have the right tools, and you need to tweak it because it can deliver all that power to the chip, and it's got the cooling to handle it. So if it's anything like this 6800 XT I've got, it's one to take a look at. I mean, the non-overclock version, when they released it last week on Newegg, it was only $489 for the base model, not the overclocked, with that cooler. Something like that. It was $499 maybe, but it was not significantly more expensive. And if you were lucky enough to actually have grabbed one in the giant shuffle of that morning, consider yourself lucky, because they're beefy cards and they're well built, and they'd be fun to play with.
Not to rain on your parade, but they launched this one with a $90 premium over.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, that's card. They had two versions.
Okay.
The one that you've got, which is the $90 premium, and then the one that, because they had on the shuffle, there was a $499.
Yeah, yeah. This is the Speedster. There's more than one. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming in 2021, Jeremy. What is happening? What's coming?
Nothing. Might as well just hang up. Forget the year.
Well, then why is it on the list?
Well, because actually I was surprised that there is a couple of things. I mean, I'm not young enough to have grown up with Halo. I would already moved on and played other things, but people are really excited that Halo Infinite is going to be hitting possibly this year, most likely. And that really excites a lot of people and is great. I mean, Dying Light was another huge one that came out a few years back and was sort of like parkour zombie and is getting a follow-up as well. And again, I'm just sort of, I've never really picked it up, but I'm sure that it's amazing for some people. And then I realized that, this is actually the year that the new Pathfinder comes out. And Kingmaker was pretty good. It had some issues, but Wrath of the Righteous looks like they're going to take everything that they learned and make it significantly better. And that should be out in the summer. The one that you saw at the front there, Biomutant, which is, it's hard to say exactly what this thing is going to be because it's been in development for like forever and a half. It's sort of like a kung fu gun shoot 'em up mutant thing, so it could be really interesting. Warhammer 3 to expand Warhammer Total War 1 and 2, because these guys know how to just keep adding to a game as opposed to making you toss things out and starting over from scratch. So this is bolting on a chunk of the West to the initial maps you've already got, and of course it's going to have its own campaign. But what I was most disappointed by is that they gave Atomic Heart a mere honorable mention. Now, this is the one that we've been seeing around for, just over 2 years. It's been one of the big ones that NVIDIA's been pushing because it's going to be ray tracing support from the start. But it's got such like a Bioshock-y meets Metro, just to make it even darker kind of look to it. That, honestly, that's sort of the one that, for me at least, I'm most excited about this year. If only, to see how much far the MSI 6800 XT that I got can do. So there are, and this is their picture mode. If you're looking at this right now, this is a new trailer for the picture mode that they do, which is actually incredibly slow motion, what you can get stills out of it. And it's not just what you're looking at. It takes the entire current, what's going on, including stuff that isn't being rendered for you, and shows it to you. And it's just obscenely gorgeous. The zoom on the thing is like, this guy has some of the best skin on the planet, so obviously at least something worked right. But, you look at these larger robots, and if you skip forward a little bit, that big one that's got the explosion on his head, well, look at the rust on him. And he's just picking up a boulder and throwing it, and behind it, all of this is going on. So, I mean, yeah, it might be a little bit of a cheat that you can actually take this picture and sort of roam around the game, but at the same time, I'm just finding it an amazing idea, and I'm really looking forward to beating the hell out of my hardware with this thing.
So I like stuff that's taxing on hardware. It makes it fun to test and gives us an excuse to... Then again, I'm backtracking, because you can't buy the hardware to push this, so...
That was actually what I was going to say.
You can buy the game, at least.
Well, I'm wondering if game developers are going to actually maybe tune down any of their offerings to try and meet where their community is at. No idea.
Make it all
they're just going to keep selling things into the high end,
like 8-bit style games. They'll play on anything.
Well,
so
maybe not quite that.
The target
play
hardware.
Loop Hero then.
The target hardware needs to be a Raspberry Pi. If it can play on a Raspberry Pi.
You're just extreming this now, but
if it plays on a laptop with integrated graphics from 6 years ago.
Hey, there are a lot of popular games among us that
Solitaire. People love playing classic Solitaire on Windows. You see it every day. Just roll out the Solitaire from the start menu. You don't even need the fancy game store. Oh, like actual Solitaire with cards? No, I feel like people just play it on their phones now.
The game.
Yes. Which is very untaxing, but very popular, as an example.
Oddly enough, Valheim is pretty taxing. You crank the settings up, and it can get mid-range cards pretty good, and you think, oh, it's just a Minecraft knockoff. Oh, they've got, these kind of strange little textures that are very, in ways, like advanced Minecrafty. But no, they've got some serious lighting effects and other shader effects that kind of hammers it for being what it is. Maybe it's just unoptimized, but it still looks good. You go wandering around and you've got these extreme depth of field things, and sunsets are wonderful, and the lighting is fantastic all around. It kind of hammers your machine a little bit more
than you think. I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, the lighting is really pretty intense.
But is it fully path traced?
No, it's not. But it is.
Looking
you have
water.
to build the path yourself.
It's great water.
It is prettier than you think.
Yeah,
and it's a fun style.
Kingdom Come does the same thing. It really hammers things.
Yeah, Kingdom Come was something else. Yeah. Anyway, Valheim's great. Fun. Enjoyed a lot.
Josh's pick of the week.
Go ahead.
Valheim.
That was last week or 2 weeks or something.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Let's go to Cyberpunk. Come on, Jared.
The next one.
Go.
Cyberpunk. Patch 1.2.
We're 8:30.
So people have been complaining that, when you just certainly randomly, when you do something bad, the police would teleport in directly behind you. and they were a little bit upset about that because, you know, it is kind of annoying that you look around and, assumably, I still haven't played the damn thing. You assume the coast is clear, you do something, and poop, all of a sudden you're being just arrested by the invisible cop. Well, they've taken this to heart. CD Projekt Red has done the best that they can, and now the cop will just automatically spawn a bit further away from you. I hope you appreciate all of the work that's gone into this.
Jeremy,
Wonderful.
they did some driving changes too, and the as you can see on the screen right here, with the ability to turn off double tapping movement to dodge because people were rolling off of buildings and dying accidentally.
Yeah, I mean, they're committed to make the game playable by, you know, some point in the future. Remember, we saw that roadmap. Right. I think the Holy Grail is what, like 2.0? Like 1.2 was going to get us through the year, and then eventually it'll be up to version 2, and that'll basically be like out of beta. But don't worry, it's still full price.
That's when I'm going to sit down and play it. Whenever they reach that
discounted
point.
When do you think they'll ever discount
that too?
Yeah, that too.
Well, I've already seen it for 20% off and just decided, it's only 60% complete though.
What is it? Is it still $59 at 20% off?
No,
something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, is it still 20? It's 20% off, isn't it?
It is.
Let's see
Where
GOG?
GOG?
Date here. No,
GOG or Steam?
Steam. Here is Steam's product page for it.
Yes.
And it is 20% off. It's $47.99.
Please buy it. Please.
That's not enough of a discount.
Invest.
It should be $39 regular price, and then on sale from there.
Cyberpunk 20% off. Also, Cyberpunk on GOG $47.99.
Okay, so it's officially sanctioned, of course. Okay.
Yeah. No, they're maybe feeling a little desperate.
What about for original PlayStation or like PS4? Like, I'm sure.
I'm sorry. I think the fastest thing for you to do is just go take your machine and set it on fire.
I wonder if used copies are even selling for $20 for PS4. Oh man.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. In Canada, it's 64 at 20% off. So it's like, you know what? No. Just no.
Just no.
Are you tired of having all your prices derivative of US dollars?
It's confusing because Canadian dollars are still called dollars. Like, what am I supposed to believe? Who can I trust?
Yeah.
Trust the people with the attractive looking money.
What would the Queen say?
To me, all money is pretty attractive at this point.
Well, there is that, but
Yeah.
you got to admit that yours is all sort of just this boring color.
Green. I bet Josh can talk about this next one.
Don't ruin the
Intel.
classics, Jeremy.
Intel's coming back,
gosh,
man.
do we have to talk about...
Josh, did you see Intel Unleashed yesterday?
You know, I did not watch it, but I kind of read about some stuff and I heard about it. And, you know, Pat he's kicking some tires. He's
on fire,
putting some things out there. Yeah. And the biggest news is, of course, that they're investing $20 billion into 2 more fabs in Arizona. And the assumption is the U.S. government will be kicking in some money as well, because one of the big things with Biden was to have, you know, an increased domestic manufacturing of semiconductors, because the vast majority of cutting edge stuff is now all in Asia, whether it's Taiwan or Korea. It has moved away from upstate New York, where, you know, Global Foundries, you know, used to have kind of cutting edge processes, but now hasn't. And of course, in California, well, not California, but Oregon and Arizona, Intel used to have cutting edge processes, working cutting edge processes. So they're, you know, they're positive about their 7 nanometer. They're trying to simplify the flows and use more EUV, so that hopefully they'll have actual products out in reasonable timeframes. But reasonable timeframes is still looking like 2023. But they're going to try to do a fabless kind of setup where they will service companies from North America and Europe primarily, and they're going to have kind of standardized flows and design tools and stuff like that that'll work with Intel Fab technology that they'll be offering to other people. I mean, previously
Seems a lot more friendly, letting people come in. Hey, we'll build your stuff. We'll get it made.
If you can get other people to leverage your R&D when it comes to manufacturing,
yeah,
you want to do that. And I think they kind of see the way the winds are blowing, because what are their options here? I mean, you keep the fabs as they are, and when you have downturns in fabrication technology where you made a couple of bad decisions in the past, things aren't working out, and your products are not as competitive. And this is, of course, we're in bizarro world right now. Even though Intel's parts are not all that competitive in terms of price, performance, and power, the demand is so high that they still have a high utilization of their fabs. But this is once in a century event, and in any other regular time, Intel would be hurting and having lower utilization of their fabs. So keeping it that way is not effective and efficient. The other option is to go AMD and to spin off your fabs, and that takes a lot of control out of Intel's hands, because as we've seen with Global Foundries, I mean, AMD, when they had their fabs, they would push next generation process. No matter what, we're going to hammer through this issue. We're going to spend the money. We've got to compete with Intel. And Global Foundries are like, we don't feel like spending any more money on this cutting edge process. So sorry, AMD, you're out of luck. We're going to focus on RF stuff. We're going to focus on planar, fully depleted SOI. We're going to have our 14 nanometer stuff. We're going to have our 12. We're going to make some bucks on 28 nanometer HK, high K metal gate, because the automotive industry still utilizes that tremendously. And then, of course, Intel has the third option where they keep control of the fabs, but they allow more people in than they have in the past. Because remember, a few years ago, they had kind of a pseudo third-party foundry thing going for a handful of companies. That never really got off the ground. It was not successful. Nobody was really happy with it. There were enough roadblocks in there. It was not cutting-edge process. It was just kind of a miserable failure for Intel and its partners. And they ended up going, other routes. So this seems like a better way of doing it. They're opening things up. There's talk about licensing out, x86 designs. Maybe not quite in ARM fashion, but offering that technology out there for people who are willing to pay for it. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to still several years down the road. But the interesting thing that I know I've gone off on way off on manufacturing tangent, but they showed that Port Vecchio. Is that what that is? It's made.
Sort of an Italian thing going on to it.
47 chips on one massive substrate.
Yeah,
and
chiplets.
It's highly.
Yep, not chiplets.
But what if I like chiclets?
You can't have them with your Intel plate.
Do they even sell chiclets anymore?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I can't remember, but anyway.
Can we talk about the fact that TikTok is back? I was excited about this. Not TikTok, yes. TikTok. Okay, we all know that TikTok is here, and for now, it's here to stay. But we're talking about a different TikTok here, the original TikTok, not a social media video platform, but when they would come up with a new process tech, and the next year would have a new architecture,
and then plus
on
it, and then new process, and then plus it.
So that we got Westmere, Sandy Bridge, Ivy Bridge, Haswell, Rodwell, Skylake. Then we got Skylake, Then we got Skylake, then Skylake, then Skylake.
Skylight.
And
Skylake.
now we're backporting mobile process back to
Yeah, I don't know
desktop, and
I don't know how to.
It's a really funky waltz.
yeah,
That seems desperate. That last one.
Just a step to the left, and 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 a step to the left. Now jump back a couple of paces.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, Intel still keeps moving forward. Their packaging technology is really second to none in this case, and it'd be nice to get back to a regular cadence of products, and we'll expect to see something in 2022, kind of from that.
Josh, they are promising great things. But don't you think
we'll see if they can actually deliver.
Yeah, it might come just a tad too late. They're talking about bringing their 7-nanometer processes online. I'm excited to see that they're investing in real fabs here in the U.S., Arizona, just like the other major players. But, projecting out there, it looks like they might be coming online just a little bit too late. I mean, don't you think that TSMC is going to be deep into their 3-nanometer production by the time they're bringing their 7 online? I mean, they're in 5.
I mean, 5 is out
right
now. But they've got one customer?
Well, Apple's deep pockets. As far as I know, that's the 5 customer.
That's their first, and pretty much only customer. AMD has got
it's volume
now,
though, right?
Yeah, it is. But they're still going to be wafer constrained in ways, and they have a lot of their fabs in places that are not all that stable, whether geologically, water sourcing, or China 100 miles away,
right,
making some interesting postures.
Funny you should mention the water.
Yeah.
Why do they keep building these plants in Arizona and Texas in the middle of the desert? Just curious.
Well, you got the big Colorado River that still, and plus they'd rather drain Las Vegas of water. So. Why not?
Okay, yeah.
That's a really good question. But I mean, they have tremendous amount of water, not recuperation, but
reclamation or something.
Recycling and reclamation.
Recycling
in those things. Just because, Arizona is not exactly a tropical wetland.
No, they've got snow at the higher elevations, but that's about it.
Yeah.
All right, we've beat this one to death.
Yeah, the next topic is of interest to, I think, anybody who, I think especially over the last year, has played any kind of console games. The Nintendo Switch has been huge, and it's still using the same Tegra X1 chip.
Man, that's got to be getting close to EOL,
nanometer version of it. Yeah, there was a rumor that NVIDIA is going to discontinue it. There's already been rumors for a while there'll be a Switch Pro to replace the Nintendo Switch. Now what they're saying is there's a report out there, and I saw this on Bloomberg and The Verge and various outlets. I see here we have an article from The Gamer. I'm not sure who these people are, but that it's going to have DLSS support, which makes perfect sense because it doesn't really... It's not even really a true 1080p console right now.
No, the handheld is 720p. Even the Pro version they're predicting is still going to be handheld 720p. You want to note that when docked, the Pro is supposed to be 4K.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be 4K. It'll be 4K with DLSS, as in it'll be a 2x upscale. Just watch.
Yes,
because they said this. 4K. There were all these rumors about the Switch the first time, where it was going to have this amazing GPU in the dock, and the dock is literally a piece of plastic with a little logic in it that lets you adapt an HDMI cable through its bottom video in port.
Oh yeah, that's today though. I mean,
right.
And nothing like the whatever this Pro thing actually exists today, right?
And the architecture, that they are assuming, at least some of these reports are assuming will be in it, is brand new, unreleased architecture from NVIDIA. It's not anything current gen. Anyway, we'll see. I think NVIDIA, they already have a pretty big win here in the console space, kind of low key though, because AMD makes a big deal out of the fact that they're in Xbox and PlayStation. But more people buy the Switch because A, it's available, and B, it's got all the family-friendly first-party Nintendo titles. What they've been lacking is day and date releases of AAA titles, aka shooters and etc. If they have a faster console, suddenly that's not a problem. They could
Hey,
have had,
not every parent wants to put a bloody shooter in their hands of their 10-year-old.
yeah, but the parent might choose to play a shooter, and if you only
That's
own
true.
a Switch, it would be nice to, hey, I just need a Switch. I can carry it with me anywhere I
You're
go.
right about that.
Plays all the same games as a PS4 and an Xbox do. I'll just get the Switch because it's $299, and the Switch Lite is $199. What I worry about though is availability, because the stories about this are like holiday. It's planned for the holiday season. Here's The Verge, like planned for holiday 2021. There won't be any.
Too soon.
No.
If this is coming that fast, I don't know if you remember when the Wii U was discontinued and they quietly recalled units from retail. That holiday season, there were no Nintendo consoles for sale for Christmas in the US. It was bizarre. I could not go into a store and find anything. There were no 3DS handhelds, 2DS handhelds, or Wii U units that winter. It wasn't until, was it March that the Switch launched the following year? So there was a period of 3 or 4 months where it was
I don't know, man. It was
rare.
5 years ago.
Yeah, it was rare to find a Nintendo console in the store. If they do that again, they'll have a disastrous holiday here. That will only happen if the current gen chip is discontinued, if NVIDIA really stops producing the X1, which I find hard to fathom. But there's no way they could ramp up a new chip on new architecture that fast at the kind of volume they'd need to sell a brand new console for holiday.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not unless they've pre-booked the process to get it built. I mean, there's no slack in the
Wouldn't we
chip
have
making.
supply chain
The supply
leaks
chain.
by now, though?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
This is
about
being
that.
fed to the usual suspects. Like so far, this is just it smells to me like an intentional leak. Like, hey, something new is coming. But there,
Yeah,
Yeah, but
aren't,
they had to
you know,
delay that
details.
because they're all on a cargo ship in the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that cargo ship, Josh. Tell me you had nothing to do with that. You can't.
They were
That's what
apparently
they
showing burger pics on the bridge, and things got out of control.
They lost.
Someone got
they lost
excited
control of the
and-
ship.
No, I did. They killed the electrics. Probably they got really excited.
Therot.com has, this is where I read the story, so I just switched over to this. And I was scrolling to get to the story, and I see a familiar face down here. Look at this. There's
Hey,
Ryan Shrout was on Windows Weekly, episode 716. You might want to check that out. But the big news is that Microsoft, where is the story?
He's going to let you print from Windows 10
I'm
again.
scrolling. Where is
no, the
it?
printers
There's a
can't be
story
found,
There's a
Jeremy.
story about Discord. Here it is. Here it is. Microsoft may buy Discord for over $10 billion. Now, of course, Discord has the option of going public instead. They've been exploring their options. Do you think...
Yeah, they're not making any money though, so that's probably not going to go well.
Who, Discord?
Is Ventrilo
well,
even a
it's-
thing anymore?
Trello? I don't know.
No,
You're talking about
Ventrilo.
HipChat?
Ventrilo,
No, Ventrilo. Open yours,
No.
jackass.
gone, dead.
I have to drink my selenium now.
Sadly, it all goes in one long
selenium.
string. So,
Yeah. Oh. No
Hey, at least
flossing
Josh
joke.
finds Josh funny.
at least I do. I'm the only person.
Hey, they have to replace Mixer. So Discord could be the answer for that. I don't think Discord needs to make money.
An add-in for Teams.
Discord does not need to make money to be a wildly successful public company. Look
Okay.
at Tesla. Does Tesla make money?
Have a little perspective here. For God's sakes, man. They just bought Bethesda for only $7.5 billion. Discord is worth 10. Please.
I agree.
Perspective.
No, I think it is. Just trust me on this one. As an
Skype was
investment advisor,
8.5.
Discord is such a huge platform, and it's only going to get bigger because as usage patterns change, as niche video gaming websites shut down one after the other, and their communities go to Discord, and Discord channels are built around people who don't use the internet the same way that we did 20 years ago. I think it's a huge deal, and the fact that it's also a streaming hub. It can be a kind of a Twitch replacement depending on how you use it, and it has excellent voice quality for audio chats, and people use it as a platform to do podcasting and stuff. I think it's a tremendous platform myself. We use it internally. We just have like a private Discord, like on our public Discord, of course, if you have a Discord server, you can create like private channels and stuff. So we have like a staff chat where we can discuss things, and it works flawlessly. There's no actual functional difference to me using Discord versus Slack, as wildly popular as Slack has been. And of course, Microsoft has their own platform.
Better than Slack, actually.
So do I.
Personally.
It seems to be a little
Slack's getting
bit
fancier too.
lighter. Like it, but I don't know. And of course it's free, so that helps. It's a free platform.
Well, that also hurts their bottom line.
Right.
No, part of, I think that the reason that Microsoft is looking at this is because over the past year, apparently usage cases of Discord and sheer amounts of channels, the gaming ones have been overwhelmed by old ladies exchanging sewing patterns. Entire school districts have taken.
It's not true.
Have literally started Discord channels, and they're, instead of paying a company, they're literally doing the teaching through Discord. Yeah. So all of a sudden, it's gone from sort of a little niche market to people stumble upon it, they tell their friends, and you've got this huge, gigantic amount of people using it that are so far and beyond, what you'd think of as Twitch streamers or, small internal teams like us. So I could see them doing it, and they're just about to kill Skype. Skype for Business is gone as of July 31st. So I could totally see Discord being integrated into Teams and becoming a different interface for those people that don't want the Teams look and want this sort of Discord
You'd think,
look.
Why would Microsoft need that unless, I think it was Paul Thurrott's article that was saying that this would be something that they would integrate into Xbox. It would just be part of the whole Xbox.
Could do that too.
But if they already have Teams, why would they want the Discord branding unless they're going to try to appeal to like youth markets or gamers?
I don't know, but it's Discord is where the Twitch streamers go. I mean, you go in there and it's easy to set up your own server and you don't have to pay for crap. I mean, unless you go into, heavier duty stuff that I am unaware of, which obviously that's a lot of stuff. In previous things, and I think in Ventrilo, if you wanted to have that kind of stuff, you had to pay money. You had to do a monthly fee on some stuff, and now it's just part of Discord. I don't know how they make money. I don't get it.
Well, there's boosting, because like the sort of light version of a professional level account is 2 people boost, and suddenly your video streaming quality goes up and your audio quality goes up. And I think if you have like 4 or more, then it goes up again or something. There's sort of a rudimentary pro experience there, but it's one of those things where anytime a service that gets popular that's free happens, it's either going to be a huge IPO or somebody's going to buy it. So we'll see.
So they're going to buy it. So that's all right. I'll take it.
Yeah, Microsoft should buy YouTube. Well, Microsoft doesn't have Google's money, I don't think. Google is pretty big. I don't know if Microsoft could afford it.
Yeah.
YouTube has become the default platform for not only video uploads on the internet, but audio. This is where anybody younger than me apparently gets music, and it's been that way for a long time. And now, of course, they did away with Play, and now it's just Google. Like YouTube Music has replaced it.
Yeah, and now I won't use it anymore because YouTube Music sucks so bad.
Although I have to say,
YouTube is also the second biggest search engine behind Google.
Yeah. That's not a lie.
Weirdly true.
It's why would you even use Google when
of that?
The only thing you want is a video anyway. Video review of, video how to, video clip of whatever thing that.
Got to get those 3D Game Man videos. I wonder if they're even on YouTube because you had to pay him money to see them.
Yeah, you did, and it was personal too.
We had a guy in our Discord who built a custom Discord server around his daybed. and he knows who he is.
Yeah.
That's not a lie.
So it's not a lie. It's actually true.
That's kind of along the lines of the people who made Facebook accounts for their pet. You know, like you don't have to go that far. We know you love your dog.
I think his daybed was more special than a pet.
Maybe they work for FIFA and they wanted to give it something to do in that New York City apartment.
My cat's snoring.
That means there will be 50% less cat butt on the show.
Hold on.
Boost that mic.
Pump up the volume.
Christian Slater.
Some of the least
Tell it's the
compelling.
internet when everyone immediately pauses to have interaction with a cat.
Let's pause here to hear from this week's podcast sponsor.
Think about the interactions you have online every day. A company who controls half of online retail can also passively eavesdrop on your private conversations at home via their voice assistant. What about the idea that a single company that controls 90% of internet searches probably runs your email service, gets to track everything you do in your smartphone? These are examples of how powerful big tech is and how they often profit by exploiting your personal data, preferences, and whereabouts. I know that I'm tired of it. When I need to put a layer of protection between online activity and these tech juggernauts, I use ExpressVPN, especially while on the go. You should consider it too. Think about how much of your life is now tied to your data on the internet. Sadly, every site you visit, video you watch, or message you send gets tracked and data mined. But when you run ExpressVPN on your device, the software hides your IP address, something big tech can use to personally identify you and where you are. ExpressVPN makes your activity harder to trace and sell to advertisers. ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of your internet data to keep you safe from hackers, script kids, and eavesdroppers on your network. I've noticed that ExpressVPN does all this without really slowing down your connection either, which is a big plus for a high-speed networking guy like myself. One of the things I appreciate about ExpressVPN is how easy it is to run and get my family members to use. Download the app on your phone or computer, tap one button, and you're protected. Stop handing over your personal data to the big tech monopoly that mines your activity and sells your information. Protect yourself with the VPN I can trust to keep my network traffic away from prying eyes. Visit expressvpn.com/PCPer. That's expressvpn.com/PCPer to get 3 extra months free. So go to expressvpn.com/PCPer right now to learn more.
And we're back. Did you know that GeForce Now is... Wait, let me get this right. GeForce is now more expensive. GeForce Now more... I don't know. How did Jeremy word this?
Yeah, he worded exactly why you're
GeForce
stumbling
now
over it.
costs more.
GeForce Now... Oh, okay. That's actually pretty clever.
It is.
Let's look at this.
I had to hand it to him on that one.
My competition is,
GeForce Now costs more money. That's clever. It's... but not for
It does.
early adopters, right?
Well, I mean, if you originally started up with their $5 a month and have never once let it lapse, you are now a founder. And congratulations. Yeah, we're back to surviving Mars again for some reason. But if you can continue to pay and you never get late, you will never see an increase in your charge. At least this is what the Founders Edition is going to do. If, on the other hand, you've dabbled your feet into it but haven't really stuck with it, well, it's now going to be $10 a month. And that... Of course, sorry, for anyone that's a little bit worried, the free version still exists. You get up to an hour's worth of play on limited access servers, whenever you can manage to get on. But if you're paying for the service, it will now be $10 a month, US, or $100 a year to be able to get access to their entire library of games without an hourly cap on it, to be able to access ray tracing and DLSS without not needing the hardware that you can't buy right now because they're doing that all for you. And they're also looking at pumping up new servers. You'll get one in Phoenix, one in Arizona. They're even going to put one up here in Montreal. They're also looking at global localization. They've recently launched one in, I believe it was Turkey. And when they launch one there, it also means that every game available there has been translated into Turkish. So as they expand into other countries, you should be seeing games that now have the localization to be able to let you pay for it. This is got to be annoying for a lot of people that wanted to try it. But there is one thing that makes me a little less annoyed with them than I normally would be. These are the only surviving video streaming or video game streaming service. Stadia's dead. OnLive's dead. Any of the other ones that sort of tried out have essentially gone up in flames, or just have one little person sort of trying to drag a mostly dead corpse along with that 5 people that still play it. Stadia is not technically still alive. It's been taken out back and shot. It just doesn't know it yet. But seriously.
Oh yeah, Stadia's dead.
So GeForce now is really the only surviving one, and somehow they've bloody well managed to do it. Every other one you signed up for and you just sort of bailed because they were horrible experiences. Somehow NVIDIA's sort of managed to do this. So on the one hand, you got to hate the doubling in price. On the other, I almost understand why, because hey, you've got a monopoly at this point. Not that
well, that and you can't buy new hardware to run new games. That
helps too.
But I mean, they're selling everything they make, so they don't need the profits. But
true. But this also brought AAA PC gaming to the Mac.
Oh, brother. It always comes back to the Mac. It always comes back to Apple, doesn't it?
So can you service your Mac at a micro station? Wait, micro center?
The FPS review, who, by the way, they have implemented, I don't know if I saw this before, a contents plugin on WordPress, it looks like.
It's not as cool as ours, but yes.
Kudos.
Ours is better.
It's not, but it's there. They have the contents.
Ours is better.
FPS review. These are the people from Hardo CP.
A long time, Sebastian.
Okay. All right. Well,
this is how I know that ours is better.
All right. Well, this is a bizarre looking, kind of awesome looking cooler. The IceSLEET X7 Dual Chilling Achievement Design.
It looks like it's carved from a lake.
Yeah, it's different.
It's certainly different.
Look at this packaging. So plain, but I don't know. It's like teal accents are kind of different. You know, Noctua has brown. This company apparently has teal.
Aqua.
Oh, Aqua.
No?
All right.
Teal?
I guess it depends. I mean, audio listeners, you decide. Carefully listen to these pictures and tell me in the comments. Complete
the answer is yes.
What is complete bond soldering?
I haven't the slightest freaking idea, and I actually spent some time looking it up.
Soldering bond creates an optimum utilization of the cooler.
Okay, so when you have less expensive coolers like that, oftentimes there are gaps in between the copper heat pipes and the fins themselves.
Okay.
So they just have a better quality control that there's actual connection in between all 360 degrees of the heat pipe to the fins.
But who cares about the fins? Look at this shroud.
Hey, you know what? The Swedes care about the fins. The Estonians care about the fins. The Russians really care about them. Anyway,
yes. You're probably right about that.
They keep an eye out for them. And besides, the heat pipe architecture, you skipped over that. It has wide sweeping curves, which will increase your PC's performance.
Yes.
Where are they hiding the wide sweeping curves?
Wait. Scroll up a little bit, would you? Scroll up.
Where? More?
Is that a GTX 460?
Better believe it.
Oh, is it a 460?
460.
Look, when you're testing
460.
When you're testing coolers, you don't need a GPU. I prefer a passive GPU myself because it doesn't.
That was the best GPU they had
available. Yeah,
yeah,
because they're mining with all the other ones. All right, let's see. Hyper 212 Evo stock clock testing with what? What processor here? For our stock clock testing, we've configured our CPU for the factory settings for speed.
It's a Ryzen 7 2700X, first at 3.7 gigahertz on all core, and then at 4.1.
Okay.
And they're
I
also
mean-
sort of blowing the lead because they recently just released the Dark Rock Pro 4 review as well.
I see.
So this is their brand new test bench. So
Okay.
even though it does look a little funny and you'd wonder that the shroud is maybe insulating it, testing says no.
Yeah, but okay.
I see that.
I have no problem with using a Ryzen 2700 series CPU for your test bench, but I think there might be some reporting discrepancies, or I don't know, because I don't see how a 212 Evo could be beating a Dark Rock Pro 4. It's only 2 degrees or 1.5 degrees, but still, we're talking 50, and these are all very closely kind of lumped together. We're talking 56.5, 56.88,
Margin of error,
57.
mate.
It could just be that this CPU is just a 56 to 57C CPU, regardless of the cooler they have.
Those
on
are
it.
also absolutes, and they should probably take into account some ambient. So you
We're
can't
not.
tell.
Yeah, well, this is not a review of the review. I was hoping for bigger
It kind of is.
deltas here. It's like, what's the room temperature? I guess I need to go back to the
That's
other
it
page.
exactly. I mean, when you quote absolutes, you have to subtract the ambient. So it's a little suspect.
So, what
What do you got there, man?
would you offer me? How much?
The Russians will pay deep for that. Is that
Ooh.
StarCraft on the cover? It is. StarCraft.
Wait,
That's got
The
this
Zen
X.
GTX. That's not StarCraft.
It is StarCraft. That picture right there.
Oh,
the, little,
try it.
versus-
It's try it for free.
the little picture.
I don't want to try it. I just want to have it. But no, Blizzard, man, they wanted to
Yeah, Blizzard.
make every
Yeah.
penny off of it. But yeah, GTX 460, almost within arm's reach.
I love that old Asus product packaging. Although the old, who's did the really ridiculous ATI graphics cards with like the fantasy girls on the shroud of the card.
Oh, there was so many.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Thinking of
Chain
Diamond,
Tech used to
probably.
have
Oh, yeah.
amazing and win fast.
Chain Tech. Oh my gosh. I forgot all about that name.
Cat, stop scratching me.
Okay, next on the
Anyway.
list.
Moving along.
Yes, check out that review at FPS Review. See if you can make more sense. of
Oh,
it
and
than
if you
we
want
did.
something bad about it, Sebastian, it's much louder than the other ones.
that doesn't surprise
If
me.
that makes you feel better.
Like a tunnel, and they're like a high-speed fan through a tunnel. DDR5. How about DDR5 not available yet? What if you take DDR4 up to 5,000? How's that for a transition? As I correct a error.
Not bad.
Let's
The
see
power
what's-
reading is off the
They
scale.
resized it. Dang it.
the
Yeah, I mean-
Spectrix D50 Extreme 16 gigabyte kit. 16
And it,
gigabyte.
5,000 megahertz, it is pretty extreme.
What can you even run 5,000
Yeah, really?
megahertz RAM
No,
on?
nothing that
Why
Tech
do
Power Up
this?
had. They tried the Meg Z47 or 490 Godlike and the X570 Ace, and they both could only do the XMP 4800. Neither could hit the 5,000 stably.
What about
The Intel would boot into Windows and then fall down, go boom.
Okay, so they could run it at 48, but not 5,000.
Yes, with the proper timings that you'd expect. So, of course, the overclocking results kind of sucked. It does beautifully in synthetic benchmarks.
Well, naturally.
Like, it just looks gorgeous. When you get into gaming, and of course, Intel was blowing AMD away at this point. It's just significantly faster with the, what is it, a i9-10 900K, I think it was, that they were using.
You mean in
trying to
memory
find that?
clocking? You know, how high they could clock.
Oh, no, either one was 4,800 megahertz.
Oh, overall.
That was it.
Oh.
Boom. Neither system could get better. Which, considering you're spending $850 on this thing, is probably going to disappoint some people.
Yeah.
116 gig kit.
Yeah.
and
It's a lot of money.
I don't understand that unless you're
I don't
trying to.
either.
It's, okay.
And in gaming, there was a good like 1 or 2 frames per second difference between it and some of the other good low latency kits at significantly lower frequencies.
Were they able to do anything with overclocking?
Yes. On the AMD side, they decided, all right, well, let's back it back down to DDR4 3600 and tighten the timings with the Ryzen memory calculator. And so at least that did have an effect on synthetic benchmarking. There's a reason that they didn't post the game performance.
When all you're running is Cinebench, I mean, if that's your...
no, it's the Ada 64 memory stuff. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Right. But it does sort of give you an example of this is the level of RAM and CPU that you need to game, purely. If you move over into production, this will actually make a difference. Like, you would actually notice a difference. But the idea of spending $850 on a DDR4 3600 kit that you can just tighten the timings to a point where other kits that actually sell as 3600 kits could do it for half the price or less, it's a really hard argument to even think about trying to go with this right now.
Yeah, you don't need it. But think about the Trident Z Neo kit that I reviewed a while back, which was...
They're so pretty.
But it was $250 or something, which for 16 gigabytes seemed like a lot, but it was 3,600 with CAS 14, I think. And you don't have to go that low. You can get kits of 3,600 CAS 16 much more cheaply than that for 16 gigabytes, and that's a sweet spot right there. Yes, you can get more performance with higher frequencies. You need a processor that can run higher base clocks. Most Ryzen 3000 and above processors are going to run 1800 base clock all day without any issue, and you can run 3600 memory, and you get a not huge, but a noticeable performance uplift in your whole system and in gaming. So, and companies want to send these ultra high frequency kits out because I guess it's a point of differentiation or something. I have a Guile 4400 kit I need to get to. But again, after 3600, once you get that F clock up to 1800, there are diminishing returns. Mm-hmm. And the price goes up and up.
It's not reliable, right? Higher than 18?
Yeah, and then you're running
then you're not
doing the 2-to-1 F clock
Yeah.
RAM ratio above that unless you can get it to run at like 2000, and then
Josh well knows AMD, if you're doing professional stuff, DDR4 3200. That's where you want to be. It's just significantly more. Every official press release, if you're using Threadripper or an Epic for production.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got a 5000 series, you need 3600, CAS 16. And you're golden there, man. Just set it to XMP. 3200 is about 5% slower on the desktop. Yeah. But to use, I obviously have not done Threadripper testing or Epic, but
you play
if your desktop, AMD 3600.
What I want to know is...
but they're older ones, and so they barely run at 2933.
Oh, really? God, even my 1900X would do 32.
The first and second, 1000, 2000 series Threadrippers, they didn't. Not very good.
Really? No, my first gen did 3200. It got really
well. We've got 128 gigs in there, so
that might make a difference.
Yeah.
For that memory speed, I don't think AMD even recommends over 2666 for that capacity. I mean,
yeah, it's like 2133. So anyway,
I just don't understand why AMD still specs their CPUs at 3200 and the F clock at 1600 when it seems like the consensus among enthusiasts anyway is no, the base should be 36 and 18, but it's still 32, still 16.
It's probably a conspiracy.
If you just set everything to auto in your BIOS,
it's good enough.
Okay. Let's talk briefly. Brett, you posted this. USB flash drives. What could be more exciting? Tell us more.
I don't know. Other than the name of this one, which I am actually totally tickled with, which is Supersonic Rage Pro. I love the name. That just kind of says it all with USB storage. The only interesting thing about this, well, there's a couple interesting things. One is that the sheer size of these things, up to 512 gig, is commendable, appreciable. Not bad for carrying around an entire, new boot disk from place to place, or gosh, whatever you really want to carry around. The other thing is that I had never heard of the UASP mode for accessing USB storage. Had you guys heard of this? This is
very old news.
It's old news.
I had not heard of this.
This is basically the way that you get the really fast transfers over USB.
Right. Well, I hadn't heard of the USB attached SCSI protocol.
Yes.
I know all about SCSI. Used it for a long time.
Apparently not.
But I hadn't heard of it being used over USB. So, this is...
It's like
Are you trolling us, Brett?
It's the first.
No, I'm not.
First time
I did not know all of the USB protocols from 2008.
No, but UASP is old, man. Like when USB 3.0 stuff first came out, that's when you were starting to hit the really fast, almost satellite transfer speeds. But
sorry, I missed the press announcement.
About the same time as the Sexport did.
That's because Apple.
It's weird.
Apple didn't talk about it.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably because
back
Apple
in time to
didn't,
2015, where StarTech is talking about UASP.
Yeah, I will have. I'll take a look at that. And
what is it? What is UASP?
Yeah,
Faster transfer speeds.
Yes.
He's just 6 years late,
Faster
people.
transfer
It's
speeds.
fine.
It's all right. I figured it out, and this is pretty good. And the prices are reasonable. And they named it after an ATI video card, the Rage Pro, which actually did come in an Apple.
Oh, classic.
The G3 PowerBook.
Oh, brother. Okay, see, it always comes back to Apple.
You're welcome.
My first GPU,
You're welcome.
standalone GPU was a Rage 128.
See?
Let's see.
Anyway, this is some good storage. It looks like it.
Hey,
I'd like to get one.
all
just
that
so I can try it
matters
out.
with flash drives is capacity and price. Nothing else matters. As long as it's
512
not
gig, man.
fake. Like, you don't want to get it super cheap on Amazon and have
know.
it be like a quarter of the capacity or something. But
Yeah, and which actually does happen. So this is a name
Yes, it
brand.
does.
Patriot is Patriot. Oh, did you get one? Did you get a sucky one?
not recently.
One that
I've
lied?
I've found counterfeit stuff before.
Yeah. Patriot's a reasonable brand. So if you're looking for big storage, swing by and take a look.
All right. The Zadak Spark RGB
It's an
device.
RGB device.
It also has, a
Yeah, you've
terabyte
got
of
some local storage as an extra benefit, but
I don't
it is
understand-
primarily an RGB device.
Yeah, it's a value because you're buying it for the ARGBs, and you're also, hey, look, there's some storage in here I can use too. Let's go to the link here at Tech Power Up. They reviewed it. Oh, look at the packaging. They're serious about this RGB, aren't they?
Oh my God.
It emanates from the
Someone
sides.
gave it away.
Let's see. The Phison
Yeah, it is actually a
E12
decent SSD
controller,
but still,
half decent.
yes, literally half, not fully half.
It's TLC and a Phison E12. Wow, this has been the podcast for non-riveting. We'll look.
There
at
are
the
no
performance.
rivets. No.
Oh.
Well, no, you
I'm
got to
sorry,
look
what
at
was
the.
UASP again? Can we talk about that some more?
No, let's not talk about that. This is
Sorry,
not the
our
PC Pro
ARGB does
podcast
not
in
support it.
2015. I'll have to link to whichever episode Alan explained that technology.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I'm never going to live this down.
The performance per
Or
dollar.
financially outrun
I don't
this.
know.
It's-
Let's look at
it's
the
exactly
world's
what you'd
longest
expect.
charts. Tech Power Up. I love these guys, but they have the longest.
They have to
charts.
drop some things.
Let's see. Performance per dollar, right up there. Wait, that's
Well,
bad.
that's because 22 cents a gig is normal right now.
The ADATA Swordfish, 208%.
Because I've seen that for sale.
Percent of what again?
The percentage of plus minus 100.
Is higher better or worse?
I'm with Josh.
No, it says higher is
Higher
better.
is better.
Wait, so
Higher
we're
is
looking
better.
at the top of the
Yes.
chart is actually the bottom of the chart. So the 970
Yes.
Pro 512 gigabyte is the worst
get about an
performance per
inch per
dollar
dollar.
on this chart. And the
I don't know, I
best,
think we should
But
have
if you go
inverted
up,
this
you get
chart.
like 6 inches per dollar.
Swordfish.
The ADATA
What-
Swordfish.
What is?
is
I've never
best.
even seen the Swordfish from ADATA. But yeah. Price per gig is up there. Well, they still have like 10 cents per gig. Can you really buy an A-Data Falcon for 10 cents a gigabyte right now? I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
And look at that. Swordfish. There's the Swordfish again for 10 cents a gig.
Are you Googling it?
I should. I was trying to get back to this screen
I
here.
think even Alan did a review of the Swordfish. That sort of tells you what.
It probably came out after he left. His last article for us was December of 2018.
Can't be that new.
Let's see.
1 terabyte is
seems so
$102.99.
strange.
Swordfish. Soar.
$102.99 off Amazon.
Yeah.
A-Data
Soar to
Swordfish.
new
1
heights.
terabyte 3D NAND.
How much?
$102.99.
Pretty good. And it's TLC?
Not fast.
It just says 3D NAND. It's 3D
It's-
NAND of some kind.
Oh my gosh. They sell a Falcon.
Cool.
So there's a Falcon and the Swordfish. Oh wait, that was
Dude,
the Falcon and the Snowman.
Max
That was a different movie.
sequential reads up to 1800 megabytes per second.
You know,
It's
the anyway,
Josh.
the Mushkin Pilot E's are 10 cents a gig. Usually you can find that 2 terabyte on sale for like $189. That's just, and it's 32, it's 35 and 32, 3.5.
Yeah, those more
3.2
normal
gigabytes.
TLC numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm looking at
Pilot
one
E
terabyte.
$109.99.
There's one semi-ironic thing about this RGB device with optional local storage.
did it
doesn't
rain on its wedding
actually-
day?
Well, that's just dampening, not really ironic,
Yeah,
unless
okay.
it's really, really heavy rain.
Human.
It doesn't actually ship with any RGB controller software.
So just
So
plays off
what?
the
It's got
motherboard
a little-
software?
It depends
little
on your motherboard.
USB 3-pin, 4-pin hanging off of it. Is that what you're saying?
No, it'll still talk to the motherboard apparently, but yeah, so it is fully and completely dependent on whatever RGB software your motherboard is running. But it does show up as a unique RGB device, which can be programmed individually, just like your memory and other devices. It's about the silliest damn thing I saw all week, and it's been a silly week.
I'm just looking at 1 terabyte NVMe devices on Newegg here. You can get a Team Group MP33 for
What's a
$95.
TimeTech?
I don't know. TimeTech 1 terabyte.
If it's as good as Time Cop, I want it.
Yeah.
There's that Mushkin Helix L for $99. Team Group T-Force Cardia Zero Z330 for $99. So there's plenty of like 10 cents per gigabyte 1 terabyte drives out there. That hasn't changed. What an exciting time to be alive.
Oh, it is.
I made
Can't
that
buy
comment.
a CPU, can't buy a GPU, but
Yeah.
damn, have we got storage for you.
I got a spam email from I think Best Buy saying, or it was Newegg. It was like top sellers, and it was the GPU category, and it was I think a 710 or a 730.
1050 Ti.
It was it was even lower than that. It was a 730. It had 2 gigabytes of DDR3 memory on board, and just that was what they had to sell. My local
It might
Best
have been
Buy
a top
has
seller.
a 710. That's it.
It might have been.
A GT 710.
Sadly enough, it might have been a top seller.
Okay.
Sad.
What's on the list?
Moving
There's
along.
one more news story, and then we can get to pick.
We talked
thank
about
you,
this
Lord.
last week.
Oh, I guess we have reviews. Did we? Yes, we
We
did.
did.
We did. This OVH
Yeah, the
story.
original incident is under there, and then
Yep.
come to find out they have significant issues in their other parts of their data center with like power supplies and
Oh,
batteries.
no. Okay. So making it
Fire
official.
will do that.
The Register reports OVH writes off another data center, SBG1, and reveals a new smoking battery incident. So that's an older
And
event, though.
also, SBG1 is a write-off now. It's dead.
Ooh.
They're not.
They
they're not
originally
fixing it.
said, "Don't worry, it's coming back," and now they're like, "You know what? We don't even want to go in there anymore. We're just bricking
Yeah.
it up and pretending it never happened."
Uh-oh.
Yeah, look at the original incident link. There's like a video snippet of the fire truck spraying water into the flamed
Into
out
the
data center.
center.
Yeah, so look at the
No.
OVH Look at the second link that I clicked. I had in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, click the original incident link, and then scroll down and look for a short clip video. Yeah, that one.
Okay. I have to wait for the full page ad for Super Micro.
Oh, please. Please
Click
continue
through.
to.
I could wait 9 more seconds, but I'll just click.
You know what?
It's
I actually did not.
I'm surrounded by ads.
Oh.
It's out of control.
Somebody knows what that pop-up's not for.
All right.
Man.
Yeah, thanks, Firefox, for blocking up those pop-ups.
Yeah, but at least you're private.
Am I? I'm not in a private window. Okay, here we go.
At first, I did not realize that they had built their data centers out of shipping containers. Oh, yeah, there you go. There it is.
Yeah. That's your server right there on the top.
That's a quality-looking
Right there.
data center
It's
there.
not
There's
on
your-
fire anymore.
There's your game server with a healthy dose of water.
Yeah, I could see that would be a write-off at that point.
I thought you'd find
They're just going to dump them in the Suez Canal.
That doesn't look like it's to code, but I'm guessing that's not the U.S.
Oh, it's France.
Yeah. Okay, Brett, please take us through our review.
We have one
this
more
week.
review to do here,
Please.
and that was for these guys.
He'll breeze through it.
Those that's very
Don't
good.
blow it.
Yep, you guys are
Brett.
really, really killing it right here. These are fan kits from Corsair in 140 and 120 millimeters. Obviously, they come in kits of 2 for the 140, kits of 3 for the 120, with an RGB controller. And as I said during the review here, that this is probably, if you're not swearing off of the RGBs, fans are probably one of the most eye-catching elements that you can add to your PC to make it pop, if this is the kind of thing you want to do. These are really, really good at static pressure, being quiet, and very colorful. And there are no issues at all with these, actually. They've got some interesting construction on the back side where Corsair is calling this their new air glide technology, where they're trying to shape the air as it comes directly through the fan instead of having those sort of regular kind of spider frames that support the central motor. They've actually turned them into blades in an attempt to shape the airflow. Now, I guess I'd have to kind of put some smoke through this in order to see how that actually worked, but put them up against a bunch of radiators and it seemed to work just fine.
Nexus would have fused colored smoke, just so you know.
Yeah, they've talked about it before, and they swear off of the smoke now. They did, and then
Okay.
Yeah.
We used to do that. Okay.
now I did build a chart out of these with an approximation of what I believed that their CFM was. Oh, there's a
this
picture
little test
from
setup
Kent.
here. Okay.
Yep. So I have a CFM meter. I had a laser-based tachometer and a sound pressure meter there on them. They did reasonably well. They're not extremely loud, very quiet up until they are at 100% or so, where they do make some noise. I know it got smaller on you.
Okay, this might be the... I
little
don't
bit
even
too
know
much
what to
detail.
say. This is
Yeah, I know.
the most detailed review of a fan I've ever seen.
Well, I went through the trouble of capturing the data, so I'm like, well, how am I going to present this? And I'm
Why
like,
not
well,
just use the spreadsheet? Here's the spreadsheet. Look at all this
Because-
data.
Essentially, it compares the decibels versus the airflow, the decibels versus the RPM, and the RPM versus airflow in an approximation of like how I was measuring airflow. Don't consider it absolute because it's not in a perfect airflow measuring chamber, which would be consistent. It's just they're only comparable between each other. So that's the best I could do to say this fan is moves this much more air in my test than this or less. And this is it presented in sort of a graph so you can visually see what's going on, CFM, dB, and airflow. The fans are pretty reasonable. The fractals don't spin quite as high. They don't move as much air at the high end. The ones that come with the coolers actually move a crap ton more air than these, but they're a lot louder. And then you can see the decibels in there.
Yeah, the big number
I
here
measured
for audio
decibels.
listeners is that the CFMs versus decibels, the ratio is much better with with these Hydro series.
Those are the ones from the AOO, the AIO. The ones up above were the ones from the kit.
Those are very quiet.
Yes, they are. They're very, very quiet fans. And I appreciated that.
So, yeah, but I mean, the other thing is these come with a control hub. So you're not just getting fans, you're having to buy into sort of their whole ecosystem, but they include the control hub. So you're talking $70 to $80 for fan kits. But
if you price it out and you needed to buy it all individually, you're going to do better with buying the kit. And I actually have one plugged in right here. And
I can't even hear it.
I know. It's amazing. I'll put it right here. In fact, I've got a fan controller right next to me. So this is at low speed. So let me just turn it up to, that is essentially 100%. Making any sound?
No.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I can't hear shit.
Anyway, so tonight's on-air cooling brought to us by Corsair.
You know, they look nice. And
they are.
They look better in person. They don't photograph particularly well.
Nah, particularly well. It's kind of hard
when they're
this
lit.
Is obviously the 140.
The key is,
and you can see they're translucent. The blades are.
That's fair. Yeah.
The key. This is the fascinating part. Take a picture of it using a DSLR, or just record something that will do RAW, and you import it into Lightroom.
Look out!
You import it into Lightroom. Use the camera standard preset. Get away from the Adobe presets because they oversaturate the color, and then use minus like 20 to 40% on highlights. You
really got to pull it in.
You'll get much better RGB photography.
You know, I could pull an electro boom. You know what I mean? You're watching electro boom? Ow.
No, don't do that.
Keep going.
And it's dead.
It's dead. No, it's not.
Josh will lead us off as we seamlessly transition into picks of the week. Josh.
Apparently the pick of the week this week is YouTube because it keeps dying on us.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I guess.
Not great. So I didn't realize this, but I was complaining about RTX 3080s not being for sale. And you hadn't seen one actually up there in a long time. And suddenly Shuffle came out with 2 combos with an RTX 3080. And I made fun of them for being $1,200 and some odd change. And I thought, how overpriced are these? And then a day later, I looked at eBay and saw that they're going for $2,400. So if you got in on this deal with the Shuffle for RTX 3080s for upwards of $1,200, and then turned around and sold it on eBay, you doubled your money.
And I hope you're
That's
happy
just
if you
wrong.
did that.
I mean, maybe eventually Sebastian will send you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, with the motherboard, $1,444.98.
Wow.
Power supply, $1,227, and selling for $2,000 to $2,400 right now on eBay. That just is. It's stupid. Graphics cards are stupid. Dumb.
I blame Ken for the stream issues, and I blame Ken for the price of these GPUs too.
Yes.
Anything else I can think
Blame
of?
him for the broken fan, too.
I agree with Alex in the chat. Blame Ken. Apparently, YouTube has been crapping the bed with our stream all night.
I guess.
Even though we have like an excellent connection, I have gigabit fiber. It's just not enough.
I think people are just going to have to go watch the edited stream later to kind of see what was going on here. I guess. Sorry. I'm just
Okay, next.
Enough of the fans. Who's next? Jeremy.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's a story that keeps on giving. But why wouldn't someone decide to completely and totally ruin USB-C for us? Like, why would someone not find a way to make sure that it was not reversible? Because that would be evil and amusing. And so we have found out that if you are doing backwards compatibility by USB-C to a USB 2.0 device, even though USB-C has duplicated the data lines, they are actually somewhat discrete. like if you were a normal, nice person, you would have both of those traces lead to the same controller. If you're an evil genius like Pim de Groot, you would separate them and send them to two different controllers so that depending on which way you plugged in the USB-C, either one set of LEDs would fire up or the other would. I love this just for the sheer absolute evilness of it and taking away, our USB that plugs in the first time regardless. This is also an interesting troubleshooting step. If you run into a USB-C device which refuses to talk to your system, it could well be that some of your traces are borked, and that taking the non-polar, quite happy with either chirality USB-C and flipping it over and plugging it back in, it might start to work. Because we can't have nice things. It's just simply not allowed. So check out the project. It'll also teach you a bit about how USB signaling works and such. And it's just freaking hilarious.
Lovely. Finally, tonight, Brett. I know this is a little out of character for you.
It is. And if you actually, believe it or not, if you scroll all the way to the bottom to the reviews on this particular card,
Are they good?
If you can do that. Keep
yeah,
going.
But Amazon reviews.
I'll go to the reviews. Go to the Amazon review. Go to the Amazon review. Keep going. Keep going.
Good Lord. Oh, wow.
I know. Oh my gosh, is there a review there from B. Van Spoonberg? Don't buy this? Oh my God, look at that. I'm holding it here in my hand. This is crap. Do not buy it.
But it says it was QC, it passed QC. It says QC passed right on it. No?
This thing could suck start a Harley. Okay?
But it's only $43.99.
Tell me about it. I wanted a high quality 2.5G PCIe 1X card that was very low profile. When I say very, I mean very low profile. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay? Didn't work out. Plugging this into more than one motherboard will not even allow the computer to turn on. Power supply resets immediately with a voltage protection issue. Stay far away from this card.
So something is wired incorrectly, or there's a bad
I'm not
component
the
on
only
board.
person who has experienced this problem with this card.
That's upside down.
Okay, maybe it's this card.
There you go.
That's why it didn't work. You plugged it in upside down.
Yeah,
you're right about
bring that in
that,
a PCI slot because it's PCI Express.
All right, whatever. But the point is that I wasn't the only one to experience the problem of having the entire machine not be able to turn on, or voltage protection kicking off. And it turns out that this one works much better.
Which is what?
This is I call it the cutie. Could be the cutty.
I'm thinking, I don't know.
That's no Jim Cuddy. That's a cutie.
We all know Cuddy is KUDI. But
so this could be cutie. But this one does not cause the machine to not turn on.
Yeah, but it's higher.
Anyway.
Higher profile and has a heatsink, I see.
It is. I mean, the other one had zero heatsink. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely none.
It looks like a piece of crap. I expect better from StarTech.
That's what I'm saying. I paid extra to be okay, this is going to be a quality device, and I needed it to be very low profile, and it's terrible. It will. Are
you going to return it? Are you going to take advantage of Amazon's sterling return policy?
It's well beyond the 30 days.
How? Did you wait this long to test it? Oh well.
Because I'm an idiot, I guess. Oh, I don't know.
You paid $43
because I needed to shut down a computer and take it apart, and it was spring cleaning time, so I took it outside, blew the dust out of it.
Get a hold of StarTech. They will.
Maybe I will.
It's within the first year. It's hey, this doesn't boot my system. It's terrible. And they'll be oh, hey, we found a bad part on the board. We have it'll be some sort of a...
Yeah, but he's already blown the part where he says, or else I'll talk about it bad on a podcast.
Right, it's true.
I did.
The leverage is gone.
My leverage is gone. I've already left a bad Amazon review, so what are you going to do from there? I bought another one.
That's our show this week.
Yeah.
It's over, Josh. Okay. You can exhale.
It's
Josh.
over.
It's over, man.
Tune in again next week for even more excitement until, one of these days, one of these weeks, we're going to take the week off. I swear. But not this
Probably
week.
will happen.
Probably not next week. So tune in. Until then, good night.